Look at this view, y'alls. Look at this view. Yep. This is the type of view that you see in the Solomon Project. But it's not how much you make. It's how much you keep that counts. I'm your host, Richard Burns. What a magnificent view. Very distracting, this view. Very distracting. I don't know if you focus hard enough, you can probably see the millions that are pouring in. We are in El Paso, Texas. I'm not at that point yet, but I will. Well, I can see Mexico right from here. If I look to my right, I can see Mexico. I mean, literally, Mexico. And at some point in time, I'm going to have to let you know when that is, because you're not going to be able to see it from your vantage point watching this video. But I'm going to be maybe within 100 yards from the wall. Yeah, that same wall where they're pouring out of, because it's wide open. The wide open wall. Well, let me tell you something. This wall right here is so wide open, you might be able to get a very small dog to go through it. Maybe. As a matter of fact, right now, if you look straight ahead, once we get past the overpass, you might be looking at Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. That's how close we are right here. You might be looking at Juarez right now. I gotta take a better look and I'll tell you. Oh, let me see. Where you at? Where you bees? Where you reside, mother lover? Yeah, let's take a good look. East, what? Yeah, that's exactly what that is. You've been looking at Ciudad Juarez. That's what you've been looking at. That's not El Paso. The side that I'm on is El Paso, but not over there. Now what you see straight ahead, that mountain range that you see right there, that's all Mexico. That mountain range that's Ciudad Juarez. I see the houses, the differences between their structures. Yeah. That's Mexico. Yep, 100%. That's how close it is. That's how close we are right now. Look at them pouring in. Millions. Yep, I'm looking at the fence right now. We're about a little over the length of a football field from the fence. Yeah. You see those roads down there? Oh, you can't see it. Or maybe you can. If you look at the right, you might see the house. That's all, man. That's Mexico right there. Look at them pouring in. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, okay. Silly rabbit. Tricks are for kids. Oh, yeah, wide open. Look, oh, my goodness. It is so wide open. Oh, they're coming for my black job. Oh. Yeah, I've mentioned this before, but you always get these people say, how do you know? How do you know? You ever been there? Over here at El Paso, nobody's pouring in. When I was in Nogales, nobody was pouring in. When I was in Mexicali, nobody was pouring in. Okay? pure nonsense. And in case you didn't know, let me spell it out for you. Because everybody wants to point the finger at some president that, oh my goodness, they're letting them all in. That's not how it works. It's a lot more complicated than that. First of all, U.S. corporations are in some of these countries where people are fleeing from. And yes, U.S. corporations do influence their elections and their politics. So it might be a good idea to do a little bit of homework, a little bit of history homework, because if conditions weren't so bad where these people were coming from, you probably wouldn't see anywhere near the number of people approaching the border. That's the first thing. As it happened where my family's from, as it happened in many countries throughout Central and South America. But for some reason, a lot of people did not do their homework in history class, or maybe didn't even attend history class at all. Or maybe the schools that they went to really didn't care. Maybe. Another thing that has to be taken into consideration is, now listen carefully to this, because this is important. The number of people crossing the border increases when the economy in this country is doing well. So if there's an increase in people trying to cross, if there's an explosion of people coming across, if there's an explosion in the desire to take that dangerous journey to get here, then that's an admission that our economy is doing well. That's what that means. And again, maybe the vast majority of people listening to this video, maybe they're not into economics. I already broke it down. I was at one time a registered representative. You don't know what that means. That means a stockbroker. One time in my life. I know that a lot of times information that gets pumped out to the population is nonsense. It's skewed. I also have just one member of my family that I'm going to mention. I'm not going to mention the others, but one member of my family who's an economist who works for a major conglomerate. I'm blessed. I'm privileged enough to have a relationship with that family member, and the information I get from that family member is contradictory to most of the nonsense that I see on social media and with the exception of one or two, there are a couple of people out there in the world of social media that do know what they're talking about, or that speak the same language that I almost mentioned. All right, he's my nephew. All right, there you go. That my nephew speaks. My nephew graduated top of his class. The only graduate with a job lined up. Magna cum laude or whatever cum laude, or he's still coming loud, I don't know. But he's just one of a few members of my family that know about what's going on. Even in corporate media, you get people trying to influence the population and not providing the best information out there. So can you see them? Can you see them pouring in? So yeah, so if immigration is so bad right now, if so many are crossing the border right now, if there's such a big increase of people crossing the border right now, it's a sign that the economy is doing a whole lot better than some people are suggesting. It's a dangerous journey for most people who are trying to cross on foot, all right? On foot. Because nobody talks about the ones that arrive in an airport, that arrive in a shipping port. They never bring that up for some reason. Never bring it up. And that's the vast majority of people who come here that eventually become undocumented. And guess what? There are so many people that love this personality. Elon Musk and his brother admitted in an interview that was televised they were undocumented immigrants here for quite some time, making huge amounts of money. Okay? Yeah, but the yeah buts are coming out. Yeah, but no. No. You know, it's funny the way some people try to argue their points, right? They try to make things equal when they're not equal. They're not the same. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Okay? Imagine going to a car dealership and imagine you have the cash. Imagine if you had the cash to be able to purchase a Porsche. Okay? Imagine having the money to go to a dealership, tell the guy, listen, I want a 2025 Porsche Carrera. Okay? And you lay the money down. You put that money on the table, or you put the check on the table, or you wire the money. You'll probably wire the money, right? Because a 2025 Porsche Carrera, it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. And you leave because it's not in the lot. Okay, so when will this car show up? He tells you it's going to take a week to show up. It's Friday, so by next Friday you come and your Porsche Carrera 2025, Okay, because it is November. You can get the Porsche 2025. Do any of you know how much a Porsche Carrera is worth? I mean, they use those in the highways in Germany. I think it's the Carrera. As police vehicles, because those are the fastest. Anybody have any idea? Or let's say, better yet, the Porsche 911, 2025 Porsche 911. Right? You got money like that. You did the exchange. You wired the money. You wired the money. The dealership received. They confirmed that they confirmed that they received the wire. On the cheap end, a Porsche Carrera, a 2025 Porsche Carrera is $120,000, a little over $120,000. Okay, so you wired. Maybe you got some bells and whistles, so it might be a little higher. Let's just say $150,000. Let's just round it off to $150,000. You wired $150,000 to the dealership. The following day, you get a phone call from the dealership. You don't even recognize the number. You answer it anyway. And it's the dealership, and they tell you, Mr. or Mrs. such and such, Mr. or Mrs. Burns, the money that you wired to our dealership has been confirmed, sir. And you respond and say, oh, that's wonderful. So I expect to have my vehicle on Friday, right? Because what I say, you showed up on a Friday, you get the phone call on a Saturday. Maybe the wire went through that very same day, Friday, right? Because it usually does. Or let's just be safe and say you were at the dealership early enough in the morning to be able to make the transaction, make the wire, and it was processed and transferred by the end of the business day that Friday. Let's just say that, okay? Let's not get technical and say, oh, well, if you don't wire the transfer by 12:30 p.m., whatever, okay? You're there in the morning, you checked out the car, you said, this is what I want. I want the Porsche Carrera 2025. How much is it? Here it is, $150K, $150K. Okay, no problem. I'm gonna wire the money. I wire it. And don't get technical, okay? This is just for the sake of illustrating what I'm trying to talk about. So here it is. They got your money. You get the phone call on Saturday. So the Friday coming up, you're going down there to pick up your car. And here's Friday. You're on your way to pick up your car. You know you got your spouse with you because they're the ones that are going to drive it, right? Your spouse is going to drive it. Brand new 2025 Porsche Carrera. Get to the dealership. You know, the greetings and everything like that. I'm such and such. I'm Mr. Burns. I wired them. Oh, yes, Mr. Burns, of course, yes. Come right in. Some coffee, sir? Some coffee, ma'am? No, we're good. We had our Odium earlier. Excellent. So, I have some bad news. Your Porsche Carrera will not be delivered. What? Yes, your Porsche 911 will not be delivered. But we have another vehicle in its place. We have a 2023 Toyota Camry that you can take right now off the lot. Please comment below. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? All right, well, I'll tell you what I feel about that. Hell to the no, to the no, no, no. Huh. I paid you for a Porsche Carrera, buddy. You ain't coming at me. As a matter of fact, a 2025 Porsche Carrera. You ain't coming at me with no 2023 Toyota Camry in its place. No, that's not gonna work. Well, why don't you just take the cars, sir? It's the same thing. Oh boy. It's the same thing? Really? It's the same thing? Of course, they both have 4 wheels. They're both cars. Oh, is that right? They both have wheels. And they're both cars. So it's the same thing. It's the same thing because of that. What do you think? Comment down below. Are they the same? Is it the same thing? Would you walk away from that dealership with a 2023 Toyota Camry after you paid $150K for a Porsche Carrera and the dealer's telling you that it's the same thing? Just take it and go. It's the same thing. They're both cars. They both have wheels. Look, that's exactly the nonsense that people try to use to argue a point. False equivalence. Okay? False equivalence. Yeah, but your side said, yeah? So they said that in response, or they're the ones that instigated? Which one is it? Is it the same amount of nonsense, or was it 1 or 2 cases as opposed to your 100,000 cases? Really? It's the same? It's not even close to being the same. Okay? Like my island, the garbage island that I was born in, right? Garbage. Nicky Jam. You guys know who Nicky Jam is? You don't? Look him up. Nicky Jam. Nicky Jam is Puerto Rican, endorsing Trump. He appeared at a rally. Trump calls him up to the stage, obviously not knowing who Nicky Jam is. He says, "Let's welcome Nicky Jam. Sexy Nicky Jam." Oh, it's a man. He thought Nicky Jam was a woman. He didn't know who Nicky Jam was. He was just guessing from the name. But here comes Nicky Jam, all proud. Well, Nicky Jam pulled his endorsement quick after that remark about the garbage island. And here's the big excuse. Oh, Trump didn't say it. He didn't know. Bro, his campaign. Who are they campaigning to? Who are they trying to attract? Because they vetted the dude that said that. They vetted him. Not only did they vet him, they proofread what he was going to say. So who are they trying to attract? Come on now. Stop the cap. Stay fresh, everybody. Keep it profitable. Kitty, take these people away from the garbage. Take them!
Arabam Dacia, seviyorum çift kalem aça. Göremedi kimseden fayda. İşler